Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So if you watched my wishlist video at the end of last year, I mentioned that part of my wish list was to sample and possibly purchase some of the newer NAVITUS releases that have been collaborated with other YouTubers. I haven't really tried or acquired anything from them in the last year, and there have been so many releases. Pretty much all of them have been gourmand, which is obviously what I love. And so I was very curious to test them and to see what they were all about. And so this is what today's video is about. I was able to get almost all of them. I mean, samples, decants, and possibly bottles of all of them. There's only one that I'm missing, which I'll tell you about as I go through all of these. And so I'm going to tell you my thoughts and opinions about these. I'm going to tell you if they're full bottle worthy for me. And then, I'm still debating in my head, and I have been thinking about this for a while, if I want to rank them or not. And not just them, but also three full bottles that I've had already. So I still haven't made up my mind. I guess you will see at the end of this video if I will end up ranking them or not. But we'll talk about all of them for sure. Now, before I start, I have to say this, I have to put this disclaimer out there. My thoughts and opinions about these fragrances are in no way a reflection on YouTubers and creators who collaborated on these fragrances. I think it's an amazing accomplishment that they were able to collaborate on these fragrances. Huge congratulations go out to them. Of course, all of them will be linked in the description below. So huge respect to them. And I would absolutely love to tell you that all of these fragrances are amazing. And if they are, that's what I'm going to tell you. But again, if you watched me for any period of time, you know that my channel is all about honesty. And I'm going to give you my honest opinions. If I love something, I'm going to tell you I love it. If I don't love it, if it doesn't work for me, then I'm going to tell you that as well. I mean, absolutely no disrespect, but this is just an opinion, a subjective opinion of one person. So please take it for what it is. Okay, let's get started. This video might be a little bit long because there are quite a few fragrances to talk about here, and I'm going to talk about them in the order that they came to me, not in the order that they were released. And the first one that I got to sample is Ambrosia Imperial. This is collaboration of AI the Great with NAVITUS. Now, she released two fragrances with them, and the second one is Amorous Intense, and that's the only one that I don't have in this list. I just wasn't able to find a sample or decant of that one, so that's the one I'm not going to talk about. That's the only one that's missing. I have everything else here. So let's start with Ambrosia Imperial. And as always, when I talk about completely new to me fragrances, I will go over the notes first and then tell you what it smells like to me. So starting with the notes, we have banana, rum, davana, orange, cinnamon, amberwood, dates, orchid, jasmine, saffron, whipped cream, caramel, vanilla, benzoin, and musk. Very interesting notes. I don't have any fragrances that feature the note of banana. I can't say that it's my favorite note, just like it's not my favorite fruit to eat. I don't gravitate toward bananas. And I know that when AI first introduced this fragrance, she talked about it being based or inspired by Banana Foster, I think. I will be honest with you, I have no idea what it is. I've never tried it. I've never even heard about it before. So I can't make any parallels or comparisons here. All I can tell you is what it smells like to me. And yes, I definitely get banana. Banana is very present here. It is very evident. But it is not very potent. And what I mean by that, it's not very much in your face. It's not photorealistic. Like, it's more like perfumey banana, if that makes any sense. There is definitely some sweetness in here. There is just a touch of booziness. I get some musky elements, not too much. I in fact don't get a ton of sweetness in this fragrance. It's just moderately sweet. Like, it's not overly gourmand at all. Like, based on the notes, I thought it would be more gourmand, and it is not. And the note that I get very, very strongly is Davana. That is super strong for me. And I have to be honest, that is the note that kind of ruins this fragrance for me a little bit. There is something in this note that's a little bit off-putting. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's sort of green and slightly woody and slightly earthy, but there is something else here that I'm not vibing with. Yeah, I'm just not vibing with. So it's a fruity, slightly sweet, woody, slightly gourmand type of fragrance, not overly gourmand. Yeah, that's basically how it comes off. Now, it is definitely unique to me. You know, I have not smelled anything remotely similar to this fragrance. So on a uniqueness scale, this scores very, very high. So there you go. These are my thoughts on this fragrance. Again, I'll share with you my final thoughts maybe when I rank them at the end, or maybe when I tell you if this is full bottle worthy to me or not. But overall, this is how it smells to me, and these are my basic thoughts about this fragrance. Next one that I got is Manico, and that was created by Sharita together with NAVITUS. Now, I have to start by saying that I think this one has the most beautiful bottle out of all NAVITUS fragrances that I've seen. The bottle is absolutely stunning. Now, the fragrance, well, everyone was saying this is a vanilla fragrance. Many people were describing it as smelling as, you know, vanilla ice cream. Partially, I was very curious to try this one because, you know, I love vanilla. Partially, I was very worried because, you know, we have so many vanilla fragrances, and, you know, vanilla ice cream I've smelled so many times. So I was, let's say, cautiously optimistic. So what are the notes in here? There is ice cream, vanilla, cashmeran, bergamot, toffee, brown sugar, amberwood, white amber, vanilla caviar, musk. The notes look beautiful. And this fragrance surprised me because to me, it doesn't smell like vanilla ice cream. I actually don't get ice cream in here at all. Maybe in a very, very deep dry down, but that doesn't happen for quite some time. To me, this fragrance is actually about brown sugar. I get that note more than anything else. Brown sugar, maybe with a little bit of toffee, or it has a slight vibe of, like, you know, a little bit of burnt caramel, something like that, with woody, ambery elements. Yes, that's what it smells like to me. So I would not classify this as straightforward vanilla because to me it doesn't smell like that. It smells quite different. This is really focused on brown sugar. That's how my nose picks it up. So I was really happy about that it wasn't your sort of, I mean, I hate to say it, but kind of run-of-the-mill vanilla ice cream type of fragrance, which again, we've smelled and seen so many. This is actually quite different. Now, is it super unique at the end of the day? No, but it's really, really pretty. It is a little bit linear. I don't find many changes in the fragrance, but this is definitely gourmand, definitely sweet. It's a very, very pleasant scent. Now, the two first fragrances that I've talked about, you know, Manico and Ambrosia Imperial, they come from the higher line, I guess, of NAVITUS fragrances. You know, the line that's more expensive, it comes in bigger bottles and fancier packaging. I will give you my honest opinion about that. I think that these fragrances are extremely, extremely overpriced. They're very pricey. I mean, the price is outrageous, honestly. Like, let's put it in this perspective. I can find Xerjoff fragrance on a discounter site for much, much cheaper than this. So, for me, I'm not jiving with the price point of these. Yes, I get that the packaging is fancier. I get that there is more fragrance in these bottles, which I don't need personally. I mean, do I need over 100 mils? I really don't. And the price is very, very high. So I have not purchased anything. I guess this is a spoiler. I don't have any full bottles of the first two. I have not purchased anything from this higher line of NAVITUS. I'm not vibing with the price range. I don't see it as being justified. Again, this is just my opinion. Okay, let's move on. The next fragrance that I got to sample was Gabby's newest collaboration, and that is Baklava Royale. Now, I thought the notes on this one were very interesting. I mean, obviously another gourmand, of course, and the notes here are orange blossom, bergamot, pistachio, almonds, honey, vanilla, amberwood, and tonka bean. I think based on both of Gabby's collaborations, it's very clear that she loves nutty notes. She loves nutty elements in her fragrances because both of her releases, this one and Chocolate Queen, are very heavy on that element. And, I've tried baklava, obviously. It's very gooey, sweet type of dessert. And this fragrance surprised me a little bit because it is definitely not as sweet as I expected it to be. The sweetness in this fragrance is quite balanced, I would say, because, again, I expected baklava to be much sweeter, and it's not. And it's a good thing. To me, it's a good thing because it might have been too much, So does it smell exactly like baklava? I'm not convinced 100%, maybe some type of baklava, but let's put it this way, not the type of baklava that I have tried. But does it smell like some kind of, Middle Eastern dessert? Yes. Now, what do I get in here? I know some people get bergamot and orange blossom, which are in the opening. I actually don't get that at all. To me, this fragrance is mostly about pistachios and about honey and a little bit of amberwood. These are the main elements for me. I mean, pistachios in here are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They're not too much, they're not sour, they're not too nutty. They're done in just the right way. And they are playing very nicely with honey. And honey, again, is very subdued in this fragrance. It's not animalic. It's not too much. It's not overpowering. It's like, yes, you get honey, but it's done right. It's done in moderation, I feel like some people who really love like really strong and powerful and really sweet gourmands might not love this fragrance because it's definitely not as gourmand as I expected it to be. Like, I would still classify it as gourmand, but it's not as sweet as I expected it to be. And for me, I like that, but I can see how some gourmand lovers might think, no, this is not sweet enough. This fragrance is a little bit in the first, probably 2 or 3 minutes. It is a little bit sharp. It has something slightly sharp in it. I can't point my finger as to what it is, but there is something slightly sharp in it. It's just a little bit too much for my nose. Now, granted, I overspray, but there is something slightly sharp. That is there for the first couple of minutes. Then it goes away and the fragrance starts developing into this combination of, pistachios and a little bit of almonds, honey, some amberwood. Yeah, that's mostly what I get. I will also say that this fragrance, out of all the NAVITUS fragrances that I have tried and sampled and have, is an absolute best performer for me. You know that I've struggled with performance of NAVITUS fragrances before. I've said it before. This one from day one was a powerhouse. It projects, it lasts very long. If it gets on my clothes, I smell it for days. Performance on this one is absolutely outstanding. We have 2 more left. And the next one that I got to sample is Miel Extase. And this is collaboration of Karina, and I always forget the name of her channel, but again, I will link it in the description. She has Spanish-speaking channel, although I know that she did English videos on her other channel for a little bit, and I loved watching them. I hope maybe one day she will continue to do that, but her main channel is in Spanish. So Miel Extase is again her collaboration with NAVITUS, and the notes in this one are honey, apricot, dried fruits, ginger, violet, rum, saffron, toffee, tonka, vanilla, dark chocolate, and caramel. Another amazing list of gourmand notes. I was very excited to try this one. And on a performance scale, I would say that this is number 2. This is not quite as strong as Baklava Royale, but it is also quite strong. Performs really, really well. These 2 are the best performers out of everything that I have tried. Even though, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, you know, those higher end bottles are supposed to be stronger, I think. But no, to me, they're not stronger. They perform like really the rest of the fragrances. These 2, for me, are the best performers. Now, this one is very, very, very heavy on honey. Honey here is very sweet, very potent, very strong. I think to some people, this can come off a little bit animalic and a little bit overpowering and a little bit too much. It depends, you know, on how you get along with honey, but it's very, very strong. Now, I do get apricots or peaches or combination of different dried fruits for sure. And I do get a lot of dark chocolate. This is quite chocolatey. All of these elements are present, but honey is the strongest element. It's right there at the forefront. I mean, the fragrance has honey in the name, and that's very justified. This is a honey forward fragrance for sure. Very strong, very in your face. Now, this is not a safe blind buy at all. Some people will love it, some people will hate it. I should say the same about Baklava Royale. I don't think it's a safe blind buy. Not everyone will like that fragrance. It's in my opinion, it's not a mass appealing type of scent. Really should sample it first. The same with this one. So very strong, very potent. Now, this one to me right away, when I smelled it, it reminded me of something else. And it reminds me of Dolce Diablo from Narcotica. And when you look at the notes, I don't think you will be surprised. There are apricots, dried fruit, there is some booziness, there is some chocolate, you know. Both of these fragrances have the same, well, a lot of similar notes, let's say. Now, is it identical to Dolce Diablo? No, it is not. It gives me a similar vibe, a similar feel to that fragrance, but at the end of the day, it has a lot of different nuances. Honey in here is so strong, and I don't really get honey in Narcotica. I also get a lot more chocolate in this one than I get in Narcotica. And on the other hand, Dolce Diablo has a lot of booziness in it, and I barely get any booziness in this one. So similar vibes, definitely has similarities, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, it is different. And that brings us to the last fragrance that I got to sample, and that is the newest release, and that is collaboration with Paulina Shar. This is her third collaboration with NAVITUS, Lost in a Dream. I have to say that, you know, when her first collaboration came out, Venom of Love, I wasn't the biggest fan of the name or association with snakes, you know, all of that. Not the most important thing about the fragrance, obviously, but I just wasn't really vibing with that. This one, on the other hand, I love the name. I love the story behind it. I love the beautiful white bottle and the scent profile. I just think the whole aesthetic works together perfectly, just absolutely perfectly. And I will also tell you that I was the most excited about this fragrance. I don't know why, maybe because I loved the whole aesthetic of the fragrance. I loved the note breakdown. I was just so excited, and I was just convinced that I was going to love this scent. So what is this about? So the notes here are milk, cinnamon, bergamot, orange, marshmallow, croissant. How interesting is that? So excited about this note. Amberwood, almond, orchid, jasmine, fig nectar, coffee, Madagascar vanilla, sandalwood, musk, oak, tonka, and tolu balsam. Now, this looks very promising. What does it smell like? Well, this is definitely 100% lactonic. This fragrance is about milk. Milk is the most prominent note here for sure. There is also fig nectar in here, which is the note that I was worried about because I don't always get along with fig. But I have to say, for me, I don't really get any fig or fig nectar or anything like that in here. So this is milky. This is a little bit spicy, so definitely some spices are coming in. This is sweet. This is woody. Actually, the opening, this is the interesting part, because most of the, you know, woody notes are in the base. But for me, I actually get a ton of woods in the opening. They actually kind of mellow down towards the, in a dry down phase, you know. I get more in the opening. Like, it's almost more woody than it is lactonic in the opening for me. I was really surprised by that. But you know, that kind of balances out. There is milky qualities, there are spicy qualities, there are sweet qualities, and there are woody qualities in here as well. So that's basically what I get out of this fragrance. Now, it smells very pretty, very pleasant, like my kind of fragrance. However, this fragrance, in my opinion, again, don't kill me for this, but I'm going to tell you honestly. This fragrance, unfortunately, in my opinion, is almost identical to another fragrance. And here I have to say, not just that it gives me a similar vibe, but I get almost the same thing from it. And that is commodity milk. If you know what commodity milk smells like, this is what Lost in a Dream smells like. They're almost identical. And what disappointed me even more is that I was so looking forward to that croissant note. I was like, oh my God, how is it gonna smell? It's gonna be so interesting. I don't really get it. In a very deep dry down, I get something slightly reminding me of croissant or some bready quality or some like fluffy pastry type of quality, a little bit, very lightly in a very deep dry down. But until then, no croissants in here for me. So even though it's a beautiful smelling fragrance, and even though I love the whole aesthetic of this fragrance, I'm left completely disappointed because the scent profile is almost identical, in my opinion, to a fragrance that we already have. So there you go. These are my thoughts on all of these new releases. Now, should we rank them or should we not rank them? What do you think? Why not? Let's do it. So let me remind you that I already had 3 full bottles of NAVITUS, and again, these are all of their collaborations. I have Chocolate Queen, which is Gabby's first collaboration. I have Raised Spirits, which is Steven Radolescence, his collaboration. And I have Venom of Love, which is Paulina's first collaboration. So I'm going to put these and all the new ones that I sampled today together. That makes it 8. I think it makes it 8. Let me double check. Yes, that is 8. And let me think how I'm going to rank it. Okay, I think I'm ready. In number 8 spot, I am putting Raised Spirits. That's collaboration of Steven again with NAVITUS. Now, I really like this fragrance. Let me be clear, I like it a lot. There are 2 reasons why I'm putting it in number 8 spot. And the main reason is that there is pomelo leaf in here. And the first few minutes of this fragrance are pure pomelo leaf to me, and it's almost unbearable. Like, for me to wear this fragrance, I basically have to suffer through the first 2 minutes, and then it becomes beautiful, sweet, spicy, warm, delicious, beautiful fragrance. So that's the main reason, is because those first 2 minutes are quite unpleasant to me. The other reason is that at the end of the day, this is not super unique. It has similarities to a few others, like Minuit et Demi from Fragrance du Bois, like Changing Constance from Penhaligon's. This fragrance is kind of in a similar wheelhouse. So because of those 2 reasons, I am ranking it in number 8 spot, but I do enjoy this fragrance and I do wear it. In 7th place, and it hurts me to put this fragrance in 7th place, but I'm giving it to Lost in a Dream. Unfortunately, even though I love the scent profile, I enjoy this scent profile, but I already have this scent profile. It's too similar to a fragrance that we already have. And so I just don't see a reason for recreating the same fragrance. Again, that's just my opinion. That's how it comes off to me. So as much as I love the scent and as much as I love the whole aesthetic and name and the bottle, everything, but yeah, it cannot go further than that. It is in number 7 spot. In number 6, and this one I really struggled with because I'm really conflicted about this fragrance. I am putting Ambrosia Imperial in number 6. Why am I conflicted? Well, because on one hand, this fragrance is just not my cup of tea. Even though I like sweet, fruity scents, there is something in this fragrance that is a little bit off-putting to me, for whatever reason. And so it's not my type of scent. But on the other hand, I do respect and appreciate the originality of this fragrance because in my opinion, it is quite original and unique. Like I said, I have not tried anything else like this. But, on one hand, I give it credit for that. On the other hand, for me personally, it's just not my type of scent. So for me, it goes in spot number 6. Number 5. This one is going to Manico. And this is a nice fragrance, a fragrance that surprised me, pleasantly surprised me, because I honestly, I don't know, I just didn't think this would be something that would impress me. And it impressed me a lot more than I expected, because it's not this simple vanilla ice cream. It's actually more about brown sugar, which made it a lot more interesting. But it's also not, for me, it's not super interesting or super complex or super long lasting, which is what I would expect at that price range. And so it really cannot go any higher than number 5 for me. Number 4 goes to Miel Extase. I really enjoy this fragrance. It's not for everyone, and it's not an easy reach. This will not be a fragrance that I reach for just whenever, because honey is so strong in it. But I really enjoy it. I enjoy the strength and the power of the fragrance. I enjoy the sweetness. I do wish it was a little bit less similar to Dolce Diablo. I wish it could have been even more different from it. I mean, there are a few similarities there, but at the end of the day, it's not identical. It's not a dupe. It just gives me a similar vibe. It has some similar elements, but I do really enjoy this scent. You know, I've worn my decant quite a few times already, and I really, really enjoyed it. That brings us to top 3, and I will tell you now, I have a very clear number 1. 2 and 3 are very close together. On any given day, I can switch them up. They're really, really close together. So in number 3 spot, I'm putting Chocolate Queen. Gabi's collaboration. I love this chocolate scent. I really do. This is to me like this fudgy melted chocolate with a lot of almonds. That's what I get out of it. This scent also, you know, both Gabi's scents surprised me in a way because they're not as gourmand as I thought they would be. They're not as sweet. They're not overpowering. I find both of them quite balanced. So it's a beautiful chocolate scent. Again, I love how many nutty elements are in here, and I really enjoy that the chocolate quality in here is really that fudgy kind of quality, or like melted chocolate type of quality. It's not like hard chocolate that you bite into. That's how it comes off to me. And so I really, really enjoy this chocolate scent, and I do wear it quite often. Number 2 spot, and like I said, 3 and 2 are very, very close together, but I'm giving number 2 spot to Venom of Love, Paulina's first collaboration with NAVITUS. You know, Lost Cherry has always been my standard for cherry fragrances. And up to this day, I have not found anything that I love more than Lost Cherry. And I've tried quite a few. This one really, really comes close. This is my second favorite cherry scent, and it's very different to Lost Cherry, which is what I love about it as well. This is like a very evening, sexy type of version of a cherry scent. You know, there's chocolate here, there's booziness here, there's gorgeous cherry in here. There's something so deep and seductive and sexy about this scent. I really, really love it. And this is one of the better performing NAVITUS scents as well, and has been like that from day one. So yeah, I really, really enjoy this one. And so if you're keeping track, you might have guessed that my number 1 goes to Baklava Royale. This scent really, really surprised me. You know, when I first sprayed it, I actually was taken back because I think in my head, I expected something different. And like I said, at first, it can come off a little bit sharp for the first few minutes. But guys, for me, when this fragrance develops, it becomes magical to me. I love it so much. I am so addicted to this scent. When I have it on my skin, I just want to smell it over and over again. There's something about it that is super, super addictive to me. I think this is the best pistachio heavy scent that I have tried. I also love how reserved the honey element is in here. Like, it's there. You can recognize that it's honey, but it's so well balanced. It's not overpowering. It's not too sweet. It's not too animalic. It's just a gorgeous honey. I love that it's not super sweet. Like, it never becomes cloying, or it never becomes photorealistic. It's a gourmand, but it's a perfume. I don't know. This fragrance really took me by surprise. I really didn't expect to love it as much as I do, and to be addicted to it as much as I am. But yeah, this is my number 1. Again, congratulations to every collaborator that worked with NAVITUS on these fragrances. You know, you all did a great job. This is just my subjective opinion. You know, we all have fragrances that we like or that work for us, and we have fragrances that don't. Now, we ranked the fragrances. The last thing, are any of these full bottle worthy to me? I guess you will see. I'm not going to spoil the surprise now. You will see in a haul coming up very, very soon. I don't know if it's going to be next video after this one, or maybe in a couple of videos, but I am going to film a haul. and you will see if there are any fragrances from the ones that I talked about I added to my collection if I purchased any full bottles. So stay tuned and make sure to watch that whole video. So please let me know, have you tried any of these? What do you think about them? Are you planning to try any of them? What are your thoughts on, so many NAVITUS collaboration releases in general? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up, to subscribe, and to comment, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!